Hi, you guys. It is Friday, January 29th, 2021. My name is Doris, and this is the Knit and Purl podcast, episode 213. You can find the show notes for this podcast on knitandpurl-doris.blogspot.com. In social media, I am One Fine Cow, all spelled out, on Ravelry and Twitter. I am One Fine Design, the number one, on Facebook and Etsy, and I am Doris M. Smith, all lowercase and smooshed together on Instagram. This podcast has a Ravelry group, which is the Knit and Purl podcast group. So you don't have to remember any of that stuff I just said, because in the down bar below there are links to the show notes and links to the Ravelry group and my Etsy store. If you click on the show notes and go in at the very top of the show notes, or all clickable links to all the social medias, come and follow me. I do a birthday shout out every podcast for the Ravelry group, and there are 2 birthdays in January. We have Frog Princess 21CA. Her birthday was on the 14th, and we have Thins Lion Knitter. His birthday was on the 18th. Happy birthday, you all. I hope that you did have or that you did have a wonderful birthday, that you got good gifts and my hair, and that you got to spend time with friends and family, and that you just had your version and enjoyed your version of birthday cake. I'm a little out of practice, if you can't tell. And if it was your birthday during this time and you don't share that information on Ravelry, happy birthday to you as well. I'm going to turn this down. Okay. Story of the week and stash enhancement. I did get some yarn from Hobby Lobby with a gift card that I got for Christmas, and I immediately started a sweater that has been on my radar for some time. So you will see that in the whips portion of this podcast. Also, I did post a bonus episode a few weeks ago, which was just the 2020 finished objects and sweater show. So if you missed that, there will be clickable links in the show notes. You can go click or just go to YouTube and search my videos. Anyway, so I finished a few things since then, and yeah, life has been life, and my mojo's been low. Everybody's free of the COVID here. So let's just move along to the finished object, shall we? I have on my finished Turtle Dove 2, which I completed the end of December. It did get included in the bonus episode. This is the Turtle Dove 2, which is a free pattern on Ravelry by Espastrico. The yarn is Ice Yarn Paris in the black, turquoise, and fuchsia color. I used US needles 7mm and 9mm. And I started it on the 10th of October and completed it December 28th. And it's very sparkly, very roomy and comfortable, and there you have it. It was a faster knit than what I knitted. I mean, it's worsted weight yarn and big needles, but I had trouble with the yarn. If you remember from previous episodes, that there was a lot of knots in the yarn. So just be aware of that. Maybe I had a bad batch. I don't know, but I had a lot of knots. The second thing I finished was not the Turtle Dove. That's this. I finished the Hitchhiker, which is a paid-for pattern on Ravelry by Martina Bem. The yarn I used was a willow wheel in the Cosmo colorway. Here's the label. It's Willow Yarns, Willow Wheel. And there's the color. And this is how much I had left. I was wanting to use it all, but I got to the point where I was afraid I was going to run out, so I just stopped. So here it is. And I used the needle size. I used a 4mm, and I used my Knit Pro Zing. But here it is. It's lovely, and it will be nice and warm around my neck during this dark winter. It'll brighten up my dark winter, though. So here we go. I think I did 30 some teeth. I'm not going to take time to count them, but yeah. And I used DK weight yarn. I have also knit this with worsted weight yarn. This is a lovely pattern. So that is that, and I did finally finish this bag that has been on hold since the second week in December. So it's finished. It'll be like a market bag. I used a tutorial by Fiber Spider. It's called a granny stitch bag. And here it is. It starts out with a granny square, and then you build off that granny square. And you finish by making handles. It's an easy tutorial, and it's fun. It's addicting. This is like my 4th or 5th of these bags. So that is all of the finished objects. So let's get into the whips, shall we? And I will start with the sweater that I started. I don't know when I started it. It's been maybe, I think I started it, I don't know. I'm not even going to lie. I don't know. I don't remember. I finished the body already. This is the sanguine, I don't know. The worsted sanguine sweater. It's a paid pattern on Ravelry by Morgan Holtersdorf. There's a link in the show notes. The yarn I'm using is the I Love This yarn that I purchased that I told you about. This is Hot Rose, Limelight, Royal, and Mixed Berry, and then of white, of course. So this sweater has been on my radar for quite some time, and I was waiting on the right colors. So when I got a gift card from Hobby Lobby for Christmas, and one day, a couple weeks ago, I said, I'm going to stop at Hobby Lobby and spin this gift card, and I purchased yarn specifically for this sweater, and I love it. There is a problem with the sweater. There are a few things I've modified. I used German short rows for the short rows around the neck. The pattern calls for something else. And also I used a regular make one, left or right, I don't know which one it was, instead of the increase that the pattern called for. Also, I think that there are some erratas in the pattern. And I tried to communicate with the pattern maker regarding those issues that I was having. Thank God I made 12 sweaters last year because I knew that it was wrong. And I looked through all of the finished objects in the thread, and not one single person mentioned the issue that I was having. And like I said, I tried to communicate with the pattern writer, and I didn't get anywhere. Now, this was an expensive sweater pattern. Most expensive sweater pattern I ever purchased. It was more expensive than a Boylan knit sweater, and the pattern writer is not very responsive. So, but if you know how to knit a sweater, you can make a beautifully wonderful sweater. And I just got to make the sleeves now. I stopped it when I got the body finished, because I wanted to finish some other things off my needles, and so that's what I did. So I'm going to get back to this soonish. Next thing, the virus, it's still over here, and I still haven't touched it. I did do some work on my second Just Feel Festive. And it's got yarn attached. And where's the hook? I don't know. There it is. Hi. The Just Feel Festive shawl, or wrap, or scarf, is a free pattern on Ravelry by Kalisa Ryan. I'm just using leftovers, DK weight on this one. And I was probably somewhere in here when you last saw it. I'm just going to keep working. I'm using up a lot of scrap yarns. And it'll also be something to put around my neck during this dark winter. So, I also, let me look. This isn't in the show notes, but I'm going to show it. I started probably a month ago. Melissa gave me a load of bulky yarn, and I just want to use it. So I started a shawl, and it's just a plain knit. I started out with 4 or 5 stitches and did my increases, and this yarn. I'm using, I think this is a 10.5 or an 11. I don't know. There's no writing on it, so I tried to measure this, and I don't have anything that will measure it. I think it might be a 10.75, I believe, needle. And this is, as you know, yeah, you know what that is. But it's yarn, and it'll make a nice, warm, soft sweater, scarf, shawl. So, and it's a pretty color. But and because it's a bigger needle size, it is a little bit easier to knit it with. So that's another thing that I'm working on when I have the mojo to work on it. Anyway, I think that's it. done. I still haven't completed the yarn, and that's it. That's all I have for you. It'll be a short one, and so I will see you hopefully in 2 weeks for the next episode of the Knit and Purl podcast. Bye, you guys.